Howdy folks, Harlow Parkenfarker Jr. here again with you today, and today I'm here to show you how to load your black powder cartridge rifle ammunition. Starting today with good clean brass. I happen to be using a nickel plated Starline brass with a BR2 CCI primer, and under the primer, between the primer and the cartridge, I've got a thin paper wad. This keeps any of the powder from trickling down through the hole and getting into that primer area. So all my brass has been fire formed, and that simply means it's all been shot in my gun at least once. And I've got an index mark on the bottom of the case, and that allows me to put it in the same orientation into the rifle each time. What that does is to actually form this case to the inside of that cylinder. So we put it here under our drop tube, and we're going to throw a charge using our Lyman 55, and this is a charger that's made specifically for black powder, as it's made with aluminum and brass, and that'll keep any sparks from happening. Spark is a real important issue with black powder, which you want to avoid at all costs. I'm using simply a ceramic shot glass with just a little bit of powder in that I can trickle on into my powder tray to bring the weight right up to where I need it. Today we're using 78 grains of Swiss 1.5, and I'm going to run that here through my drop tube, and I'm going to take about 6 seconds here to load this powder through the drop tube into the cartridge. What the drop tube does is allow the powder to trickle down and to build up nice compressed powder inside of here. So black powder is real important that you fill up this whole case with powder right up underneath the bullet. So we're using a low density polyethylene, an LDPE wad. This happens to be the thicker version, a .060 thickness. That goes on top of the powder charge. And then we're going to bring this case over to our rock chucker press, where we've got a compression die, and that die is going to give it just a little bit of compression. And this will vary for everybody's gun and different situations, so you're going to have to experiment a little bit to see how much powder and how much compression your particular gun and charge will develop as. Okay, on top of that LDPE, I'm going to place a little thin piece of tracing paper wad. And what this wad does is allows the bullet, just in case there's a little wax or anything sticks to the bigger wad, a chance to separate. You don't want that big thick wad attached to the bottom of the bullet going downrange. Okay, that's it. We've loaded my cartridge, and what we'll do is we'll come back and give this just a little bit of neck tension, and that'll just keep the bullet from dropping out when I turn this over and store it. So there you go. Nothing too sophisticated. Okay, and so the final step is to put a little crimp on to hold this bullet in place. So I've got the die in there. Run it up, give it just a little slight crimp. And I like to crimp mine so that basically the bullet can still spin, but there's just a little bit of tension so the bullet won't drop out. So there you go. You've loaded your black powder cartridge rifle ammo, and good luck and happy shooting.